I have to say this video definitely has some teachable moments, if you know what I mean, but the results are still fire. Hi everyone, I'm Angelina and this is Blueprint DIY, where we make our clothes to be just as unique as us. I am so excited for today's video because it was one of our most voted for upcycle inspirations in our Upcycle Games Series 2. And I am so excited to do it. Although this is not necessarily something, I don't think any of us will wear it on an everyday basis, but it is definitely something that if you want to get some boom, this is the upcycle for you. So I hope you guys are excited. We're gonna get right into it in 3, 2, 1. All right, so I have the shirt on and I really like this one because it very, very closely matches the inspiration one, and I really like how the stripes are on that one. So I found this one, I decided to use it. But you can see that it is very short. I couldn't find one that I liked that was longer than this on me. You probably would really look for a big and tall men's shirt if you're gonna do that. So I'm gonna make this into a blouse and I'll style it for you guys at the end. It'll all make sense at the end. You will see. The first thing I'm going to do is I want to pin where I want the top to go. So this is a deep cut top, and a lot of you asked for a way to alter it if you don't want that deep V, and I'm definitely going to show you how. All right, so what you want to do is mark with a pen where you want the V to stop. And like I said, I will address if you don't want that open, but I'm going to do mine right at the bottom of where my bra stops. So I'm going to add a pin right at that point. And it's really convenient that there is a button there because you will want a button at the top of wherever you stop this point. But we're cutting off this part so you'll be able to adjust it and it won't matter too much where exactly it hits. Hey, if you are interested in getting an upcycle made by me, then hit that subscribe button. And if you've just been watching, yeah, I know you've been watching. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Been watching for a while, haven't hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, even if it's your first time. And share this video so everyone knows all the amazing stuff going on here, because every 100,000 goal that I get to, all the way up to 1 million, I'm giving away an upcycle to a subscriber. We have our first one coming up, so I hope you guys are excited. And back to the video. All right, so we have our shirt laid out, and the first thing I'm going to do is take off the pocket using a seam ripper, a razor, or whatever you prefer to use. So let's turn it on the side. And we're going to cut the button placard off up to the pin where we added when we were trying it on. And I think I'm going to take my pin a little bit lower, more like the inspiration. That may be a mistake, but we're going to do it anyway. And do your best not to cut off the edge of the buttonhole side, which I just did at the bottom. All right, so now we have our button placard taken off below the pin line. And what I'm going to do next is go ahead and serge the edges so that we can work with this. And if you don't have a serger, you can always use some handy dandy fray check. And you're also going to serge or fray check the edges of your buttonhole button plackets. The buttonhole placket you may not need to, because if you cut it super close, it may be okay. But a little bit of fray check probably would help, but definitely the button side. All right, so in order to do a corner on a serger, I just fold the edge back until it's lined up with the edge that I want to do. And then I put it in the serger so that the edge that I don't want to do is right at the needle. So then it'll start sewing right past the needle. And the same is true for the opposite side as well. When I get to the end, I'll fold it. Right here, I'll start to fold it. Matter of fact, I'm going to fold this one more at a V so that once I come through, it won't cut any of this. So now we have our V, or not V, our 90-degree angle done on a serger. All right, so we have our edges serged. The next thing you want to do is fold the button placard that you still have left underneath like this. And it creates this kind of pleat going up towards the shoulder. And you want to pin that in place. And make sure you have your pins. We're going to do quite a bit of pinning now. You want to do that on both sides. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is take a pleat that kind of comes at the bottom of the underarm and goes to the edge. And all of our pleats are taking the material, pinching it, and folding it up. And the next thing you're going to do is add about 3 more pleats so that they kind of come out like they fan out, so that you have pleats along this edge. So you'll probably want one that goes straight out and then 2 that are going down, since you already have 2 going up that direction. And I'm also going to carry these pleats, these 3 that I'm about to do, all the way to the side and through the back. And if you have a dress form, this is the time when you'll probably want to use it. If you don't have a dress form, don't worry. I know it's a luxury. That's why I'm not using one. All right, let's do this. Can we have some pleating music, please? Where are my pins? All right, so this is what we have. I have pins and pleats going everywhere, and you guys know, you've already seen, I have a bad reputation with pins, so I'm going to try to be careful, but I cannot promise anything. What I'm going to do next is put a basting stitch on top of, like, you know, more towards the edge, on top of these pleats, on the front, on the sides. I might do one down the back. But sometimes shirting material can show holes. So this one doesn't seem like I can't see the holes from the pockets. So I may be good to do that, but we will see. Oh, and if you are super strict about measurements and stuff like that, just go ahead and measure out your pleats so that you're precise and exact. This side is the same as this side. Don't, you know, put yourself in any type of stress. I know some people are super precise like that. If you are, go ahead and take the measurements and do it like that. I am more on the try it side, so we're just going to try it and we're going to see if it works. All right, so we have all of our pleats at least tentatively in place, and now it's time to put our plackets back on. I always thought these were called placards, but it's placket. I looked it up. We're going to put these back on, and I already see some mistakes that I made. This one, I pulled it out farther from the edge than this one. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, I don't feel like taking it apart, so I'm gonna keep going. This is at the point where you can decide whether you want it to close all the way back up, you don't want your to show any cleavage, or you can have the deep V in there. So if you do not want to show cleavage, you are going to add this placket back in line with how it was. That way you can button up, and you can just, you know, keep one button open or 2 buttons open if you want to. If you want it more like the inspiration, you are going to add this placket back, so it's going to be off to the side on both sides. And one mistake that I did make that I'll let you, I guess another mistake, is that I cut this off a little bit too shallow. I should have cut more so that we can in turn sew this back on and then fold it over. However, I'm not worried about it because 1, I serged it, and 2, once this is laid on top of that, you will not even be able to see the serged edge. So I am okay with that. So what we're going to do is we are going to line up our last button and our last buttonhole. This shirt is actually going to get shorter, so I'm not concerned about length. We have plenty of length at the bottom. So I'm going to line up my last buttonhole, and that tells me where the next button should be. And I'm going to begin to pin this to the top with this lined up. A little music, please. All right, so once you have it pinned, what you want to do, let's line this back up again. See if this pin lines with that pin. That button lines up, that button lines up with that buttonhole, buttonhole. And that way we can cut this off right underneath the button so that we can fold it under and it'll be right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off. Cut this side off. Fold it and pin it. All right, so that's how that's gonna close. Everything is pinned up for a pretty deep V. All right, now at the bottom of the dress, which mine is going to be a top, but at the bottom of the dress, it comes up at an angle, and so I'm going to cut that now. This actually would be pretty cute coming down off the bottom. Put in the comments where you think I should have left these little tails at the end and left this just regular curve, or you think I should have cut it like this, like the inspiration. I'm going to go ahead and cut it because I want to show you guys how to do it. So I'm going to fold it so that it is in half. Okay, what needs to line up here is your buttons and your buttonholes. All right, so then I'm just gonna cut kind of a gentle curve right here on the end. And then I'm gonna do a rolled hem, a very shallow rolled hem, just like the one that comes with the shirt. And I'm going to attach these plackets onto the front of the shirt. All right, guys, guess who made another mistake? This girl. I made a point at the beginning to say that you need a button at the top of the button placket because otherwise you're gonna have gaping when you try to button it up. Then when it was time to put it back on, I purposefully cut off that top part so that the buttons would be equally spaced. It does not matter if the buttons are equally spaced from the top to the bottom. It only matters that you have a button at the top. So when you're putting that button placket on, just make sure that there's a button at the top. Then you won't have to go back and add a button and a buttonhole like I just had to do. All right, I'm finished with my rant. We're gonna go try it on inside out. All right, so this is what it looks like inside out. And what I want to do, I know it's looking so crazy up in here. What you want to do is just do your best to kind of, make sure that the pleats are laying correctly. You can even add some extra pins down in there if you need to. That may be very helpful. All right, so once you have those pleats kind of in place, you're just going to gently, whether you have it on yourself or a dress form, just gently pinch it on the sides to figure out how much you need to take it in. And then you'll add pins there. And you want to do it underneath the arm as well. Okay, and then we're going to take it to the sewing machine and add in a stitch that goes all the way from the bottom hem all the way up underneath the arm and through the sleeve. But before we do that, what we want to do is make sure that we fix our back pleats. We weren't able to secure our back pleats if it was on us. So what I'm going to do is just on each side, take that pin and just stick it through the front to make sure I remember how much it needs to be taken in. And then I'll go and kind of fix the pleat. Then I can lay it back flat, and then I can do it so that the pleats line up, and once I sew it, you know, the pleats will look decent. Maybe not on that side. Guess what? Okay. And this is going to be our extra fabric that we're going to use as the tie on the front. And then we'll take it to the sewing machine and sew that up on the side. All right, you're definitely going to want to try it on at this point. I did try it on. I was going to show you guys, but it's turning out good, and I want you to be surprised. So, you know, some of y'all already went to the end and looked anyway. I know you did, but it's okay. It's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess so that we can use it, hopefully, as ties on the front. And I'm definitely going to serge these edges. All right, and this is what we have left. What I decided to do is use this side of it, and I'm just going to overlay one on top of the other, kind of like that, hanging on the front. So what I want to do is finish these edges. So I'll probably double fold hem, or, you know, just do a rolled hem on those. And I actually kind of want to taper them a little bit more, or maybe not. I'm not going to do anything to them yet. I'm just going to cut them off here and finish the edges first. All right, so I have my two little leaf looking things here. And what I'm going to do, or what I did, I laid one, the thinner one, on top of the wider one and serged it at the top. I put them off center because I don't want them to be like right on top of each other so you can't see them. I want them to kind of be a little bit separate from one another. And all I'm going to do is scrunch them up a little bit so that they're about the same width as my button placket. And I'm going to sew it to the inside of the buttonhole side, just like that, so that once I button everything up, it looks like that. It just kind of comes to the inside. Has that little leaf hanging down. And if you're interested in upcycle classes, I do have them for the highest level of my members only group. So hit that join button down below. And I also just added some perks. So I hope you guys are super excited about that. You guys can email me directly, VIP members and above. You can email me directly to get me to troubleshoot your upcycle problems for you. So I hope you guys are excited about that. And if you're looking for a free option, definitely join my Facebook group. It's a members only group for just upcyclers who want to get help and then show their before and afters and just share the resources. It's just a positive group for upcyclers. So definitely check the description box for the link to that. I do not know where I'm going with this, but baby, let me tell you that if my husband was still alive, I would not be going far. Not without him right on my heels. I promise you. I promise you that. But this is amazing. And what I love about it, what I absolutely love, and I say this all the time, I absolutely love upcycling because this top is for everyone. If you didn't want, you know, the cleavage out, don't put the cleavage out. If you want more cleavage out, you do it how you like it. So that's what I absolutely love about this specific top, because I know that we all have different body types. There's the heavy chest, there's, you know, plus size, there is the super slim, don't have no chest at all. So yeah, all of us are different, and I think that this particular top, depending on how you do it, and I've tried to give instructions along the way, I think it can be done for pretty much anybody. So I'm super excited about that. And so I just started with jeans just to keep it simple, because I do have a top and not a dress. But if you wanted to do a dress, you would just buy two tops that are same or similar, and or contrast, and do whatever you want to do and put them together like I did in this video here. And you can also just button it up at the top, you know, just to change it up. And then I also, because the sleeves were too long, I flipped them at the bottom, and then I added a rubber band, which I normally do to my blazers. I got that trick from Karen Britchick. And another tip for you guys, I try to give you guys as much of me as possible. You know, you guys may say like, oh, you're always doing crazy stuff, you just do it off the fly, you don't care, you're fearless. And that's why I can come up with stuff like this, I can have these results, is because I just do it. Because if it had a failed, so what? Like, honestly, so what? I may not have gotten the video out, but more than anything, I just want you guys to just try it. You know, just set out and just say, if it fails, it fails. It's no big deal. Definitely try this project, do new things, do, you know, on the fly without the pattern. Just try it. Just try it. Even if you've been sewing for years, just give it a try. I know it's gonna be like nerve-wracking, but just give it a try and let me know the results. I have a whole host of other videos for you to watch right here, so definitely take a look. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe, because we have new videos every Thursday and every Saturday at 9 a.m. And if you're a member, you get those videos early, so hit that join button down below. And definitely check out the tutorial for this, yes, right here, as well as other videos for you to watch. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!